What's up YouTube? Welcome to Darts class. In today's video I'm going to go through what you should have in your home setup. So if you're new to darts and you're trying to figure out exactly what you need to get your darting journey started, then I will let you know. And if you're an experienced player already, it's always worth double checking that you've got the right gear, the right equipment to make sure that you're improving as you should be. Before we get stuck into today's video, please make sure you have hit the subscribe button already. We are over 1,900 subs, so we're almost at that 2,000 mark. But 70% of you that watch these videos don't subscribe, so we can keep that number still going up, and that will do me a massive favour. So please, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that button to subscribe, and if you hit the bell notification, you'll know every time I upload a video, and you'll be one of the first to see it.
Just do it! Toby, come on. God!
So the busiest time in the darting calendar is upon us. We are in November at the time I'm shooting this video. We've just had the World Series, the European Championship, the Winter Series, the Grand Prix, and we are in the midst of the Grand Slam as we speak. We've still got the Players' Championship finals and of course the biggie, the World Finals to come. Now, with all that exposure on the TV, darts will become popular again and there'll be people trying to get into darts. So you might be one of those people who've seen it on TV a lot and think, do you know what, I'm going to give that a go. You might be a player who's played a bit in the past and you think, hey, do you know what, I'm going to get back into darts, I'm going to play again. If you're one of those people, then hopefully this video will be for you. If you are already a consistent dart player who's playing regularly, then you know what, it's worth watching this one just to make sure that you've got all the right bits and pieces in your home setup. We're going to go with 3 must-haves and then go for 2 nice-to-haves as well. So the first must-have is the obvious one. It's the dartboard. Now when you're starting a new hobby, it might seem tempting to go with a relatively cheap option. You might not exactly know what the industry standard is. So what you might find with some of the cheaper dartboards is rounded wires and what we call staples in the board. Now you might see these on darts websites and things like that at an entry-level cost of somewhere between £15 and £25. So what's that? 25 to 40 US dollars. Now these boards are okay, they serve a purpose. If you just want to put one up in your garage and every now and again have a throw at it, then sure, go for it. But if you're serious about trying to improve your game, then you need to have a board with razor wires and no staples. So the most popular board on the market is the Winmore Blade 5. So this Winmore Blade 5 I've had for a year or so, used it a lot, and I now put it on a dart stand. So if I'm travelling around or I want to take it in the house, I can use that. But they're a good industry standard for knowing what you should be aiming for your first proper board. Now you don't have to get a Winmore board. I've got a Nodor Super Match board, which is pretty much the same as a Winmore board, to be honest. I think they're the same company, it's just under a different label. But you can go for Harrows, Gladiator, Mission, Target, Unicorn. There are loads of really good dartboards out there. I'm sure that a lot of people will be able to do me a favour and put in the comments what boards they use. But if you're avoiding ones with staples and with rounded wires, then you can't go wrong with a Winmore Blade 5 or any of the others that I've listed there. Now if you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about staples and rounded wires, I'll put a picture up now that'll show you a board with that. The issue with this is they're a bit old in their technology. They increase the rate of bounce outs. So bounce outs are when you throw the dart at the board and they bounce out. Now this is an older version of a Winmore board. This is a Blade 4, so it's the generation before the Blade 5 obviously. But I'll get close up here so you can see what I mean by razor wire and obviously with no staples. So as you look around that board, you can see that there's nothing impeding the dart from entering the board. This is essential as you can maximise your scoring capabilities with that, as you're not ending up having the board reject darts and then end up on the floor equaling 0 points. Okay, so you've got a half decent dartboard there. You've probably spent about £40, $50 in that sort of area. So what do you need next to make sure that you're on the right path at the start of your darts journey? If you've bought a package set that includes the dartboard, the cabinet and some darts, you'll get darts that probably look like this. So this is a standard set of brass darts. These are the sort of darts that you'll probably think of if you're a non-dart player. You might have seen them in the pub, or like I say, with a cheap set of darts that somebody will have who doesn't take the game overly seriously. But you're not going to want them, you're going to want something more along the lines of these. So the majority of half decent darts are tungsten composite darts. The reason that you want to be doing that is the density of the weight of the tungsten means that it's a similar weight to those of the brass, but they're a much narrower dart. This obviously means that aiming for trebles, doubles and even singles, you leave more room in the board by using a tungsten dart than using a brass dart. Now they range from anywhere in price from £15–20 up to the hundreds of pounds, but there's a really good video that the dart referee has put up before about darts from about that £15 range and upwards. There's a lot of classic darts that people have used for years and years that are just £15–20, so you don't have to break the bank in order to get a half decent set of darts. But if you start playing with these, you're not going to get anywhere near as far as you are playing with a set like this. Okay, so the next thing you need is an oki. So you don't have to spend big bucks on this. I myself have got a darts mat. So you can buy one of these rubber mats from any darts website really, and that'll show you the guide distance that you need to throw from. Now the distance you need to be throwing from is 7 foot 9 1/4. So like I say, you don't need a mat, but you do need an oki. You have to make sure you are throwing from the correct distance. So there's a number of different items out there that you can use instead. Sometimes just a piece of tape or a mark on the floor can help you, but please make sure that if you're starting on your darting journey that you're throwing from the correct distance, and an investment in an oki or even a taped line just to show where you should be throwing from is certainly worthwhile. Now the other two things that are good to haves you can see behind me. So the first thing is the surround. Now I'm sure you've all seen before the classic darts cabinet. Now I'm not a fan of these, and I'm sure people will be able to tell me in the comments why they're so good. I suppose back in the day they were to disguise them in your kitchen as if it was another cabinet, I suppose, so that it didn't look like you just had a dartboard up on the wall. But if you're going to have a dartboard up on the wall, who cares? So what, have it up there. So the cabinets I'm not a fan of at all, and the problem that you have with the cabinet if you're a beginner is that the top and the bottom of the cabinets are often quite narrow. They don't cover a lot of the wall, so if you're worried about damaging the wall, the chances are you're still going to hit it even with a cabinet up. However, one of these surrounds, somewhere between £20 and £30, so again, what's that, $40, they can protect your wall, and they protect your wall in a sphere, or not in a sphere, it's not a sphere is it, it's a circle, in a circle, all the way around the board, giving you an extra 6 or 7 inches of cover that you wouldn't necessarily have for the cabinet. So if your budget allows, I would definitely suggest that you get yourself a surround rather than a cabinet. And the other item that is a good to have, if you can have it, is a lighting system. So it's important when you're playing darts to play in a well-lit room so you can see the board and you've got as much focus as you can have on the board and all the different segments on it. Now lighting has changed in darts for years and years. If you watch it on TV, there's not a light on the board. That's because the stage lighting is strong enough that they don't need it. However, if you go into a pub, you might see a spotlight hanging from the ceiling, and you could have one of those at home as well. There's nothing stopping you. If you want to install an overhanging light that doesn't get in the way of your darts, go for it. However, there's a lot of products on the market like this one. I use the Target Corona light, and this is an LED circle around the board that just protrudes slightly off of the board, and it enables you to have a fully lit board without casting a shadow. So if you have a spotlight on your board and the dart hits, it can cast a shadow sometimes, and it can just block parts of the board that you're trying to look at. So when I turn this one on, it's probably going to take me out of focus. And it just means that there is no shadow on these darts around the board because they're getting 360 degrees of coverage from the LED lights. Okay, that's it. It was just a short video today. Just if you're beginning to get into darts, you've watched it on TV and you're thinking, I'm going to give that a go. I just want to make sure that you're getting the right sort of equipment to make sure you can make progression in the right direction. If you've enjoyed this video, I have got a whole library of videos that you can watch that work on improving your game, practice games, tips, tricks, and some fun stuff too. So make sure to give it a like, subscribe, have an explore of all my videos. Otherwise, hopefully I'll see you again next time on the darts class.